Hey, podcast listening people. Connor Doobie here. We're live. Appreciate you being here today. We're going to talk a little bit about mail, not the mail you get in your inbox, right? Like, is that a bill or is that a check? No, we're going to talk about email. Stick around till the end. I have a special free gift for you. Let's roll. Hey, podcast listener, Connor Doobie here, host of B2B Mentors. Obviously, I'm here talking to you, and also Chief Marketing Officer at Active Blogs. Honored to have you here. I appreciate you listening. Do me a tiny favor. Make sure you share this. Make sure you like it. Make sure you spread the word. And please, if you like the audio version of this, you can watch on the go. If, maybe you catch this, you're not able to watch it all, you can go to every single podcast app and actually download the podcast for free on iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, you name it. Just look up B2B Mentors and you'll find it. So leading email marketing experts do exactly this, which I want to share with you. I've had the honor, the privilege to talk and interview with many number of email marketing experts. And I like to consider myself pretty good with email myself. I actually love it when I get responses on my email list constantly like, Connor, I feel like you're talking directly to me. I feel like you're speaking to me, even though I'm sending this to thousands of people. And so it's really exciting. And email marketing is a very powerful way to go about your B2B marketing. You got ads, you got all kind of prospecting, all that good stuff. But when you have someone who knows you and they like you and they, are interested in you, then having them on a list that you can continue to nurture and stay in front of and communicate with is really powerful. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to do more business, time, money, opportunity, all these things have to align in order for that prospect to be ready to work with you. So it's one thing to be able to reach people, reach enough new prospects, but you have to be able to consistently stay in front of them. And this is where email is so powerful, because I can go out and I can do a lot of stuff on social, but this platform can go away tomorrow. And then what am I left with? So that brings me to my first point, actually, is leading email marketing experts are not going out there and buying email lists, which I know is a big mistake many people are making. They're not going out there and just like scraping LinkedIn and throwing them onto their email list and then just sending them crap and expecting to like get business that way. And they're not going to, some sort of data company and just, it kind of used to work back in the day, right? When it was easier to get through the spam filter. It was easier to be able to get in front of your prospects. But we don't live in that world anymore. So own your list. That's number one. If you want to write this down and as you're watching this, and I see you guys, I appreciate this. Share it, like it, comment on it. Let me know what your thoughts are on this. Own your list is the most powerful thing you can do. People who have opted in through campaigns you've done, whether it's a webinar or a meetup group or networking or a download or a free resource that in exchange for your email address, you get access to this resource and then you get put on my email list. Another way that I use this is when people schedule a call on my calendar, right? They'll find my calendar on LinkedIn. They'll want to meet with me. They'll want to network with me. Which, by the way, my calendar is on my LinkedIn if you want to meet with me and you want to network with me. But when you do that, I put in my calendar by scheduling this meeting, you're agreeing to opt in to my email list. And I will put them into our list for further nurturing, because who knows, we may meet, get busy, don't end up working together, and then down the line, they're continuously seeing me show up on my email list. So that's part of the next point, which is value, not BS value, but are you teaching? Are you truly helping people to solve their problems? The issue, and you've done this yourself, when you sign up on someone's email list and then you just start getting a bunch of pitches about their product, about their service, why they're so great, why they're so phenomenal and magnificent, versus helping you to solve a problem, versus teaching you something that you can take and implement into your business, or be able to find the right resource to implement it. So top email experts are not just out there selling on their list, but they're teaching, right? A great example of this process is, Gary Vaynerchuk wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook, something along those lines. I actually never read the book because I understood the concept in the first reading the cover, is give more value than you're taking. There's a time and a place to be able to promote your product and service. But when it comes to your email list, the last thing you want to do is turn people off, because that could be a great potential prospect for you. But if you're just talking about you and not talking about them, then you might risk turning them away, having them hit that unsubscribe button, and then you're left there without that one extra person on your email list. Be creative. I think creativity is underutilized. Like, there's so many cool things that you can do with your email list. It doesn't have to just be a dry email with text. We send podcasts. You can send embedded video. Our newsletter has so many different fun things to pick and choose from to be able to self-educate yourself on. Another really interesting thing is you can do things like put emojis into your subject line. You can be truly creative. And another side of that is you don't have to do what everyone else says, in terms of, if you ask most people who aren't doing this and they say your emails need to be short. Now, if you're prospecting, that's one thing, right? If you're sending an email to a sales prospect, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about marketing to your email list. It does not need to be short. I've written paragraphs of text. I've almost literally taken a blog post and sent it all as part of the email, without any images, without anything else but the text, kind of broken up in a way that's very easy to read. And the open rate is phenomenal. We average 50 to 70% open rate on our email list, which is pretty unheard of. So we do pretty well there. And then the click-through rate is phenomenal as well. But that's because we're using creativity, right? And the third thing that I want you to focus on that other experts are really doing is, and I've made this mistake myself many number of times over the years, know the data, know your data, know your numbers. I used to hate looking at the numbers. Who's opening what's working, what's not working. I just kind of, it was like bang, bang, bang. I'm just going to fire off emails. You need to know your numbers and you need to know your data, because it's going to help you to make better decisions, right? I know when I start email with how to bing, bing, and bing, I get a much better open rate than we would like to blah, 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 right? Like if I start with something else, or if I include somebody's name in the subject line, right? I autofill that. So in the subject line, it'll say, Connor, did you know blah, blah, blah? Or Connor, how do you bing, bing, and bing? Those, I use those frequently because they work and because the data tells me that they work. So you really got to sample around. The emails that you think you're doing are probably dry, boring, and boring the crap out of people. So my ambition for this year, for you watching this, for me, is to really figure out how can we creatively get back to making email marketing fun? How can we make it personalized? How can we make it feel like we truly care about the people and we're not just checking a box to say, oh, I've got my emails put together, but we truly care about the person on the other side who's receiving it, whether or not they end up working with us. Like, I have people who have joined my email list years ago, like maybe 5 years ago, and over 5 years, they've been getting emails from me, and I still get some of them never bought from me, but I still get messages and DMs and texts like, I love this stuff. It's your emails are funny and they're fun and they're interesting to read. So uh the personalization is my next point here. Instead of just everything coming from your company, people buy from people they know, like, and trust. So every communication doesn't have to come directly from team at Active Blogs, for example. If your bulk of your audience in your list is CEOs, for example, then why not pull in your CEO to contribute their voice and to almost feel like that email is coming directly from them, right? The communication is one to one, even though it's one to many. So use peer to peer, right? If your email list is built up of mostly CIOs or CTOs, well, who would they rather hear from? A salesperson or just like some generic company? Or would they rather learn and hear and get from the voice of a peer? And so if you're a smart marketer, you know the answer to that question already. Consider various ways to engage as well. And this will be my last point. And then I have a free gift for you guys before we wrap up here. Different ways to engage with your email list. So I've talked to people and they're like, man, I've tried surveys and, I send out these surveys and offer gift cards and stuff. And I've seen their emails and they're just like boring. And you feel like you are on a mass email list. Like you feel like you're just like, you just ignore that crap. There's different ways that you can get people to engage and convert, which is interesting. It doesn't always have to be get a quote from us, get a quote from us, get a quote, get a quote. Like every email doesn't have to end with get a freaking quote. Offer something of value, a resource. I also love to prompt people, and I don't think enough people are actually doing this, to just respond, right? So I got some great data from my email list by doing a survey, but not doing a survey. I went out to the email list, and at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I have a lot of ideas of what I want to share and what kind of content I want to do, but it doesn't really matter what I want. Like, what do the people on my list want? What are they most interested in? So I literally emailed them. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hope everything's going great. Connor here. Quick question for you. I'm really interested in, like, what do you care? What are you researching right now? Like, what's most important to you? And so I listed a few bullets of, like, in the world of marketing, bing, 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 and bing. And I'm like kind of paraphrasing. My email is much more elegant than that, but I'm just like pulling it out of memory, which isn't great. I played football. I got hit in the head a couple of times. So I put bullet points together and then said, hey, would you respond to this or respond to this email and let me know, out of these things, what are you most interested in? Just list a couple. Look forward to chatting with you. And that's it. I was blown away by the responses because people felt like I was sending them an individual email. I was giving them options. I wasn't making them go to some link and fill out some form that was like inhuman. I started a conversation with them, and I had hundreds of people respond and tell me exactly what they're interested in. And then I created content around that. So these are just some ideas, but really these are some main pillars of what leading email marketing experts are doing nowadays. Email marketing is still very powerful. It's very useful. Make sure you're prioritizing building your in-house list, prioritizing getting people who are familiar with you, they know you, they like you. Make sure you're prioritizing teaching over tugging for sales. Make sure you're prioritizing different forms of email, not just the dry sales email, let's schedule a meeting, but different formats. Make sure you know your numbers. Make sure you're using personalization and personal brands in your list. And make sure you're leveraging various ways to engage to get people actually engaged, not just converting to be on your calendar, but feeling like they're actually involved in the conversation. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. By the way, if you want to learn more about this, or you don't want to just hear it from me, you want to hear from other top B2B marketers, experts, business celebrities, I would love to personally invite you. Those of you watching after the fact, I appreciate you. I want to personally invite you to check out our free, it's a free gift, B2B Mentors Mastermind. I host it every second and third Thursday, second and last Thursday. You'll see the date on there. Twice a month, I host this, and I invite in a group of high-level marketers that you can network with, learn from, mastermind on your marketing. And if you also feel like you have something to teach, something to share, something that I can learn from you, right? And we want to meet each other and network, this would be a great opportunity to do that. So hit the link, activeblogs.com/live event. It's never about what you know. It's never about who you know. It's about who knows you, right? And that one little pivot, that one little golden nugget of information could completely change the way that you're doing everything. I hope that I gave you one of those aha moments watching this video. So sign up. I will cut off registration if we get too full. I have to keep it a small room since it's so interactive. But with that, my friends, I appreciate you much. Much love to you. Make it great. And I'll see you tomorrow, 5:30 Mountain Standard Time every day. See you guys.